So for my project, I decided to make a game called Keyboard Shortcut. It's a board game that is based around spelling words. So my ideas, goals, and demographics. My ideas is that I wanted to make a board game relating to English and grammar, as English is my major for younger students. I thought it would be fun to theme the game around a computer keyboard, as this would familiarize young learners with the keyboard layout. And I also just generally think of a computer keyboard when I think of spelling and making words. My goals are to help younger learners effectively spell and pronounce words, as well as to help older learners reinforce their spelling and pronunciation skills, to give adults like myself a fun game that involves spelling, and to teach all audiences about risk, reward, and strategy, which I think are both factors in my game. And my demographics, the game is mostly made for younger children, as the main section of each card will have an easy part, but there is a hard mode word on each card present for older learners and adults looking to have fun. The aesthetics of my game, the keyboard itself is a keyboard with the letter keys, number keys, and special keys. The game pieces include colored computer mice that are going to be little 3D figurines. There's four of those of four different colors. Colored finger tiles, which are flat. There will be 20 of those of four different colors. And 12 keyboard keys. They will be like the special keys on the keyboard, like Alt, Tab, Caps Lock, Shift. And these will all be the same color, and there will be 12 of them total, and they will all serve the same function, even though they are differently shaped and designed. The game itself comes with two decks of cards, labeled short word cards and long word cards, and this will be written on the back of each card with the letters being similar to the keyboard keys in the top right-hand corner of the slide. For the rules and gameplay, the game itself is 2 to 4 players, with each player picking a color, and they will grab the mouse piece and finger pieces that correspond to that color, as well as 3 keyboard shortcut pieces. They'll keep their finger pieces with them now and place their mouse piece on the 0 key of the keyboard, which will be moved over to be to the left of the 1 just for clarity's sake. Um, the player that goes first is whoever's name comes first alphabetically, and then the game moves clockwise. And on each player's turn, the player to their left will pick up one of the long word cards, and they will read the word off, and they will be provided with pronunciation, and it will be up to the other player whose turn it is to spell the word correctly, which they will get 2 attempts at. If they do spell the word correctly, they can choose any consonant that they would like in the word, and then they can gain possession of that key on the keyboard, where they would place their finger tile on that key on the keyboard. And this will repeat with every other player in the game until every player has gone once, and then once every player has gone once, one of the short word tile cards will be read, and that will always have a 4 letter word on it. And if any of the letters in that 4 letter word correspond with keys that players own on the keyboard, then they will gain that many points. Um, Players will also be provided with 3 keyboard shortcut pieces. These can be used at any time, but there are only 3 total per player, so they are an expendable resource. Players have to choose to use them before they hear the word on their turn, and if they choose to use a keyboard shortcut card, if they get the answer right, then they will get 1 consonant and 1 vowel of their choice. So this is the only way to get vowels. But if they get the answer wrong, then they will lose one of their already acquired key pieces. So I think this is a great risk reward system, causing students to either gain 2 or lose 1 key. Students will keep their keys for the entire game unless they gain 5 and they try to gain 1 more, in which case they will either have to swap one out or they will have to choose to keep all the ones that they already have. So this will mean that players who already have keys will perpetually keep getting points as the rounds keep going for whatever short word cards are picked up if they have those letters on them. The first player to reach the number 9 on the keyboard will win. Like I said, if a player uses all 5 of their finger pieces, then they will have to choose between switching one out or keeping one. So I think that this offers some strategy, and I think the keyboard shortcut pieces offer a great risk reward system. For my mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics, the mechanics of the game are all of the aforementioned game pieces, with the dynamics being how the different game pieces affect each other, which is written on the slide. And the aesthetics, I want my game to feel as though, for young students, to feel as though they are not learning, but instead just having fun and tackling a challenge that will support them for winning and has a great risk reward system. So when I was designing this slide, I based it off of our MDA reading from a few weeks back, trying to look at the mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics of my game. And I also took a look at the Fullerton reading, not this week's Fullerton reading, but one from a previous week. And that's what inspired me to create a risk reward system for my game, and also inspired me to have my game be a reinforced relationship rather than a balanced relationship, where the more keys that students acquire, the more points they get throughout the rounds in the game. So getting an answer right equals more keys equals more points. I think that my game will be great for young learners who are trying to learn how to spell, and I also think it will be great fun. It's a game that I would want to play myself, so that's why I think my game should be played and sold, and created into a real game.